When he first came in to see us, he would go and work with us all day, and then he'd go to La Costa and get a back massage because his back was killing him. Yeah. And he kept having this problem, like, geez, I can't even hit balls as much as I want to because my body's not holding up. So everything he's done, from equipment to the swing to the physio side to even the nutrition, the breathing, whatever it is, has all been this intense focus on how do I play golf better. And what we talk about a lot is he's saying, I'm not going to give up accuracy. I'm not just hitting it far to hit it far. I want to keep my accuracy and hit it farther. How do I do that better? You know, like we talked, he's got to be almost 20% straighter than some of the average tour players to keep it in the fairway, right, because he's hitting it that much farther.
You know, yes, he still likes to tinker and test things, but just I think it's more focused now than it was previously. It was kind of like all over the board, you know. I mean, it was like a kid in a candy store and you told him everything was literally free and you could eat it all. And literally he did. He ate it all, you know. He like literally ate everything in the store. So
he at least tasted it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, people see that he's swinging a driver and they probably assume that it's probably the driver that they're getting off the rack at their local golf store, which is not the case. What does it take to build a golf club for Bryson to handle his speed?
One of the things that really, you know, as he came in and told us he's going to get stronger and faster, we're like, okay. And then we started thinking about it, it's like, uh-oh, that's going to create some problems. One problem is you're going to cave in faces. Our current designs are really, our tour design speeds are about 125 swing speed, and we test a lot there and we're good there. Now he's at almost 140 or 145, like, we're not so good there. So we have to do things like the materials, the welds, the face thicknesses, all those things have to be adjusted. You know, and part of that learning is, hey, the speed zone that he won last year with was a 7-degree head, and he did pretty good with that, but he started complaining as his speed went up that it's too spinny, and we couldn't get it strong enough. So it's like, okay, now we make him a new head. So the rad speed heads are stronger than the speed zone heads. And that's bringing in another set of issues that we say, hey, if we get the spin rates low enough, you should go farther, but there is a big trade-off in low spin rates, and you lose the ability to shape shots, and he likes to shape a draw. So that's something we're learning too, and he's like, well, geez, this isn't actually so good because now I'm losing the accuracy. So, you know, that's why he switched back to a driver that had a little bit more spin rate because it's more controllable. Right. So we're in this space now where we're starting to, as Ben said, we're to the extremes. We found the end. Now we can work back into the really where the optimum zone is.
Do you feel like you maybe have a bit of an edge just because you're having to sort of think outside the box in some of these areas as you're designing clubs for Kyle and for Bryson?
For sure. You know, and I think what we've looked at, I've been in the industry a long time, but we know everyone wants more speed. Right. So that's always been our focus. You know, and we go in with our business plan for a new product and we tell the engineers, hey, it's got to go longer and straighter. And they're like, yeah, we know that. You know, that's our problem every year. So it's something that we know that is the future. We know these guys are leading the charge, but we're right there with them. You know, so we're learning things. We're trying to make our drivers faster, again, within all the legal rules, limitations that we have.
The engineering team has done an awesome job at just making them durable, and he does this not by us asking him, as he rotates heads out. And he doesn't particularly rotate a head out because he wants to. He just says, well, this one doesn't feel great this week, right? So we'll just try a different head, and it might not be that one, it may be another one. And then he's just constantly rotating. You know, it could be 6, 7 heads.
So he's rotating the playing heads, but he's also rotating the speed training heads because those are seeing many more hits at higher speeds, even more than his regular. So he's got a bit of heads that he works with, you know, from that standpoint. And that's something unique. Again, you know, the speed training, the whole philosophy there is, hey, I want to push the boundaries. Right. So when, you know, we looked at that and we looked at, you know, at times he's gone back to older drivers and things like that, we said, that older driver isn't going to hold up for speed training. So use this other one. And eventually he speed trains enough with this, he gets confident. He says, okay, I'm going to put that in play. So there's a couple things going on there that are different. If you remember, you know, Bryson really started this speed regime a little bit ago. And we're like, geez, it takes us probably 6 months to design a club in CAD, get it tooled, get parts, get it all dialed in. It takes us 6 months. Right. So if you think about it, he comes up, you know, he came out in November and said, hey, I'm going to bulk up. Like, uh-oh, we better start now because we're, you know, from this point, we're 6 months behind. And, you know, so that's a big challenge for us to say, geez, he's got to increase what? It's like, okay, so we start testing and designing and going through that process, because you got to make multiple versions, you got to test them, you got to see how they're produced. There's a lot of work behind keeping up with him as he's gone through this swing improvement.
I can say just from, what I'm doing as far as, being on tour and working with players, it's obviously there's a lot of inherent challenges that have come with it. Obviously his swing is different, his setup's different. Some of the things he wants to see are different than what we would consider the norm. And in a lot of ways, it's great because it's been a totally different challenge. It's so far outside the norm. But I can say, without a doubt, it's made me so much better at what I do because it's forced me to become so involved with Tom and his group and learn so much more about the science and the physics and how everything's put together, how everything works. I was always involved before, but there's just so much to it now. I honestly think I could I'm not great at math. I'm pretty good with geometry and physics. I could almost fudge my way to actually being an engineer, although I don't know how to use CAD, so that may put a stop to it.
He's a field engineer.
But yeah,
field engineer.
Field engineer.
You are figuring stuff out all the time. At times in this industry, I've seen periods where companies get complacent because business is good, things are good. But when you get complacent is when somebody's going to pass you. Right. So I think that's the thing with Bryson is he's not complacent about anything until we can actually prove that, hey, okay, we've done all the study and it doesn't work, or yeah, there's something here. So I think that's what our Cobra innovation spirit has always been. How do we create a better product? And so it's a great merger, between his attitudes and beliefs and strengths and ours. So that's been fun to work with, and it continues to push us.